Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you own or work for an online business, the analysis behind me will be very useful to you. What it does is it takes customers and it cohorts them by their install month and then sees if they retained in future months after they were acquired as a customer by your business. This analysis is super useful because you can take the same month and see if year over year, for example, retention improved. In addition, you can take dissimilar months and dissimilar years and see if over the course of time your retention metrics have gotten better. In this case, they have, as you compare January 1st of 2024 to September 1st of 2022. So in today's data analyst project, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to build this exact same analysis in MySQL. Okay, so here we are in MySQL, and here's our installs table. Now, if you have any experience in this industry, you know that installs tables are pretty messy and crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the very first install instance per customer, and we're going to do that using a min aggregate function. We're going to rename it the same thing. And then again, because we're using an aggregate function, just put it in the group by. Okay, so it works. The next thing we need to do is we need to filter for installs that happened on or before June 30th, 2024. And the reason why is because this analysis starts 1 month after a player or a customer's install month. So as of this recording, today's date is August 29th, 2024. That means the last full month of data is July, not August. August remains incomplete. So what that means is the max install that we can look at and do analysis for is June 30th, 2024, because we can calculate July retention for them. So let's go ahead and filter for those installs in the where clause. We're just going to call this subselect A. Okay, so what did we just do here? We're taking the current date, August 29th, 2024, and we're subtracting a month, so that'll take us to July 29th, 2024, and then we are reformatting that to the 1st of July, and we're taking install dates before that, so the max install date value should be June 30th, 2024, and we can actually check that ourselves. Let's just do it distinct. And here we go, our max install date value is June 30th, 2024. So we have confidence that that works. Let's remove this distinct. We'll add the customer ID back in. Okay, we need to add 2 more columns. The install month. So if you remember in the analysis, we're not looking at install dates, we're just looking at the month of installation. And then we need to add in the first month of the analysis. So what I mean by that is if someone installs June 15th of 2024, the install month is June, and then the first month that we're doing retention analysis on is July. So install month plus 1. So let's add those 2 columns and their values now. To get the install month, we'll just reformat. And then to get the first month that we're going to do retention analysis on, just add 1 month. Okay, let's check our work. Okay, so this is good. Let's look at the first row. We have someone that installed on April 11th, 2024. The install month is April 1st, 2024. And then the first month that we're going to do analysis on this install is 1 month later, which is May 1st, 2024. So everything is looking good. Now the next step is for us to bring across dates. And these dates must be greater than the install month start, and they must be dates that are the last day of the month. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a data set where we have date intervals that represent month 1, month 2, month 3 from the installation month, and then calculate retention within those date intervals. Or in other words, check to see if the player logged in or retained between those date intervals. So for the first step in creating these date intervals is to bring across dates from a date table, and it must be the last day of the month, and it should be through July 31st, 2024, because that's the last complete month that we have. Again, August 2024 isn't complete. The date of today's recording is August 29th, 2024. So let's do this together now. Okay, so here's our table of dates, which is the column of dates. Let's make sure that we do some date filtering. So what this is doing is it's taking today's date, August 29, 2024, and it's reformatting it to August 1st, 2024. And this means that we're only taking dates that are less than August 1st, 2024, which will carry us through July 31st, 2024, the last complete month of data that we have. And then the second condition is going to make sure that of the dates we bring across, that they're the last day of the month. Great, we have exactly what we need with the final date, July 31st, 2024, and all of the subsequent dates, the last day of the month. So we want to bring these dates across, but those dates must be greater than the first month that we're doing a retention analysis on, so install month start. So we're going to call this subselect dates. We'll call this installs. Let's rename these columns to installs. And time for our left join to bring across those dates. So this is going to be on dates.date is greater than the first month of retention analysis. So it's going to be this and not this. Let's check our data. And great, this is working. Now, the next step that we need to do is we need to use a window function to create an index. And what the index is going to do is it's going to return values. And we're going to take those values and we're going to add those values in the form of months to the install month start column, this column right here. And once we do that, then we will have a perfect set of date intervals per install so that we can calculate retention on month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will make a lot more sense once I write the window function, return the data, and we take a look at exactly what we're going to do. What we're going to want to do is save this into a table because this is a lot of data, and then go from there. Okay, so again, what we're gonna do is once we get our query result saved to the table and we can look at our data, what we're gonna do is look at the index. The index will have a value, and we're going to take that value and add it to month start so that we have the month start changing in accordance with the last day of the month. So our data is complete, so let's take a look now. Okay, this is an absolutely perfect example of what we're trying to do. If we look at the first row, right, we have a player that installed July 1st. So the first month of retention analysis is going to be August. So we have August 1st here, and then we have August 31st here. These are the two date intervals that we want to check retention for, and that's perfect, right? So let's look at the second record. They installed July 1st. The install month is still August 1st, but the date is September 30th. What we want to do is change this value from August 1st to September 1st. And the way we're going to accomplish that is by utilizing this month index column. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this value that's outputted here, and we're going to add that in months to the install month start column. And that'll basically allow us to create a series of date intervals that work for us. So let's do that now. And here's where we are going to add the date add here. It's going to be the month index. It's going to be month. Call this month start. Let's rename date to month end. And then with month index, let's add the 1 back in, because we're going to use this as our values on the X or horizontal axis, and we want it to start at 1 instead of 0. So +1 and then month index. Okay, so let's check this. Okay, we have a customer that installed sometime in July 1st. Oops. We'll take another example. We have a customer that installed in September. First month of analysis is October, and it's October 1st to the 31st. Great. Then the next month is November 1st to November 30th, and December 1st to December 31st. So this is good to go. All we need to do is join to our logins table and check to see if each player or whatever player in question logged in during these date intervals. And if they did, they're going to be considered retained for that month. If not, they're going to be considered not retained. We're getting closer. Let's take the columns from our subselect. I will show you our logins table. Okay, great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna join on customer ID, and we're gonna check to see if this login date is greater than or equal to the month start and less than or equal to the month end. And if it returns one or more login dates, then we know that they were retained. If it doesn't return any login dates, then we know they've churned out of the game and they were not retained. And again, this could be a game, it could be a website, it could be an app, whatever you have it, any online business. Okay, let's write our left join. And then we're going to put the retention logic just in an aggregate case statement like this. So case when is not null, then 1, else 0, 0, end, and then taking the max. Let's make sure to group by. And again, the way this is working is it's saying if we bring across at least one login date or more login dates, then assign a 1, say they're retained, if not assign a 0. We just need to do one final aggregation and then we're done. We want to bring across the install month, the month index for the x-axis, we'll do a count of installs, count distinct, and then let's sum how many were retained by month, or those month index values. Don't forget the group by. Wonderful. Let's save this into a table because it does have a pretty intense join. We'll just put a suffix here. So again, it's returning login dates between month start and month end, and that could potentially be 30 records per record in our installs table. So it's a pretty intense join. So because of that, I'm saving it into a table. But remember, because we're using an aggregate case statement, it's collapsing those additional records and grouping them. So a lot of intense processes happening in a little bit of code. So We'll see how this goes. We're ready. So here is our final data set. Let's take a peek at what we have. Great, we have exactly what we need. Now let's take this over to Excel. Okay, so here we are in Excel. All we need to do is just create a pivot table and then build a chart off of it. Let's remove the years, quarters, months. Okay. Okay, so here's our chart. We can isolate 2 months just to declutter the data, but in general, I think this is a pretty cool methodology to cohort customers by their install month and just see how they retain across future months. It's comparative and it's really insightful. Thank you so much for joining today's session. Continue to like and subscribe.